Just oh yeah, careful, just a little. Fast. Okay, guys.
All right, Percy, go ahead and start us off.
Hey, I guess the first question is for Gabby. Just you guys had a 8-point lead to start that fourth quarter. Just from your perspective, just what happened there? You guys were outscored 27 to, I want to say 6 or something in that fourth. Just what happened in that fourth quarter?
Yeah, 27-9.
9. Thank you.
Just lack of focus. I don't know. We can say a million things about it. I think the fourth quarter we started to panic, and I think I will be the first one to say that we disrespected Connecticut today. And we got what we deserve. That's a team with Hall of Famer, with they're professionals. They still can hoop, and we disrespected them. I think we went, okay, now we're up, we can relax, and we just stopped playing basketball. So we got what we deserved today.
Thank you.
All right, Christian, you're next.
My question is for both of you. Just kind of coming from the game against New York and then coming against Connecticut, like Gabby saying, you guys, so you feel like you disrespected Connecticut. A team that hasn't won a game in a month. Just kind of wonder how you feel after this game and going into the rematch on Friday.
I think that's the blessing about this league is that, you know, you can play a team twice in a matter of 72 hours. So us being able to sit on this and use it to see how we can turn things around on Friday. I think that's actually kind of perhaps the blessing in disguise in all of this. Like Gabby said, this is the pros. Any team can win on any given night. Not saying that Connecticut is just any team. Like she said, there's some great players on this team. And we have to show up every night, no matter who is in front of us. And I don't want to continue to harp on it just because of what their record reflects. Like, you have to step forward and respect any team that comes and gives you a great game. And that's exactly what they did.
All right, next up, Kasim.
Hey, can you guys talk about specifically what Sanaya Rivers and Tina gave to the Sun late? How did they kind of pose some issues for you guys in closing that one out?
Like I said, Tina Charles is a Hall of Famer, and she played like it tonight. Sanaya did a great job getting downhill. Obviously, her defensive energy disrupted me quite a bit. I got to be better with that. They were just very aggressive. I mean, they didn't give up, they didn't quit. They were getting all the 50-50 balls, especially like Tina in that fourth quarter. Yeah, they kept playing and we stopped, basically. We thought our job was done and they capitalized as they should.
Thanks.
All right, next up, Andrew.
Gabby, just asking about Layla Lacan, her effort in terms of dealing with her and how you're going to make the adjustment of getting that revenge against her on the next game.
Layla was plus 19 tonight. She gave them a lot of great energy, a lot of good driving kicks. She was moving the ball well, finding people on pick and rolls. I thought she played really well tonight, especially this is her second game, right? So yeah, I just got to adjust to her, but I thought she played like a pro tonight for, you know, only her second game. I thought she played very intelligently.
All right, Asia.
Hi, ladies. Connecticut took us all by surprise today. What are some key things besides just, you know, playing basketball and staying in the game and staying focused? What are some other things that you guys are going to have to focus on and readjust for the next game?
I mean, I think we probably need some more time to look at the video based off of what, how we played and what we were feeling. You know, they're a bit more aggressive on the ball, so being prepared for that. I can't imagine that we won't see that again on Friday. And being able to knock down more open shots, you know, being able to come out of the aggression on ball and hit shots that we normally hit for all 4 quarters. That was one of our points of emphasis tonight, was being able to score in all 4 quarters.
All right, next, Maz, go ahead.
Hey, Nneka, just on that, in terms of hitting shots, you only had 9 points in the fourth quarter. I mean, was anything they did, or like you say, that's just a matter of concentration for y'all to score points in every quarter?
I felt like there were some shots that I could have made. I felt like there were more shots that I could have made. I think that most people are used to me shooting 50% or better, and I can be used to myself doing that as well. So just locking in and hitting the open shots that I had.
But we also have to make it easier for her. We can't just, we acted like sorry, I'm just stepping because I'm not gonna let her just talk about herself like that.
Please, go ahead. Sorry.
But I think what got us there, we stopped doing in the fourth quarter because we weren't up by 20 like we wanted to be. We treated every possession like it was the game-winning possession for no reason. We stopped moving the ball, we stopped doing the things that got us there, and that made Nneka's job way harder.
Thank you.
All right, Jim, go ahead.
Hi, my question is for Gabby. Gabby, all your starting five there tonight played over 30 minutes and such, and all your starting five all were in double-digit scores in terms of that. But in terms of your bench outside of your starting five, how much more of an impact you need off your bench in terms of scoring, in terms of minutes, in terms of, because all five starting team well over 30 minutes played tonight.
We need everybody. We need everybody, especially this is our third game on the road at 11 a.m. After staying in a casino for 3 days. So this is a game where we have to be able to rely on each other, and we need every single player has to be able to be productive and be efficient when they're on the court. And yeah, we just can't treat it like we missed an opportunity to go 3-0 on the road, which would have been huge, especially for like what our standards are. But we can't do that with 5 or 6 people who are locked in.
All right, final question, we'll go back to Christian.
Oh, sorry, that was an accident. My bad.
Oh,
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
All right, Percy, go ahead, kick us off.
Hey, Coach. I just wanted to ask you just about that fourth quarter. You guys had that 8-point lead there, and then you're outscored 27 to like 9. Just what happened in that fourth quarter? One, and then two, is this game anything like the 2 losses at Sora to Golden State there, and any similarities that you can see there? Thank you.
In the fourth quarter, I think they had about 11 points off of our turnovers. We didn't have a lot of turnovers within that stretch. They ratcheted up their physicality. We didn't execute where we needed to. 9 points, again, we're not gonna win games shooting that bad in the fourth quarter and not matching energy. Few miscues coming out of a timeout, miscues defensively helping off strong side, just not disciplined in a lot of areas. A little bit different from Valkyries. I feel like both of the Valkyries game, we were kind of playing from behind. We had a lead and we just were not sharp and focused in the areas that we needed to be in, and allowing Connecticut to score 27 points in a fourth is unacceptable, and that's gonna net bad things for us.
All right, Maz, go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, Coach, Gabby said something to the point that the team kind of panicked in the fourth quarter. And is that kind of, given all the things you just talked about, the lack of energy, the turnovers, and the lack of execution, is that a fair statement?
I think we just didn't
Perfect.
execute. Connecticut showed a heavy nail presence. They're pretty aggressive on the ball screens, and we talked throughout the entire game that where the open action would be. And I just feel like we turned the ball over way too much in that stretch, but also we weren't sharp in understanding where, the things that we did early on in the game, we just went away from doing that in that particular quarter. So yeah, it was, I think, again, our discipline and our sharpness and all those things that need to happen to compete at a high level and close out games. It didn't happen.
And you play them again just in a couple of days. just what then is the messaging?
Yeah, on any given night in this league, anybody can get beat. If you don't have the correct mindset, energy, focus, and discipline to execute from one quarter to the next to play a full 40-minute game, things like this are going to continue to happen. The inconsistency is, at this point, again, very unacceptable. The inconsistency and go down the gamut of like the area. 48 hours, we need to make sure we're locked into everything that we weren't locked into today. Make sure that we're taking care of the ball, making sure that defensively we're staying disciplined. And there was some physicality that I feel like we weren't getting the calls, but at the end of the day, we haven't got those all season. So our mindset has to be different, and we have to be prepared to play them way better than that we did today.
All
Thank
right,
you.
next up, Bella, go ahead.
Hey coach, you've talked about this team this season being sort of consistently inconsistent, not being sharp enough today. How do you fix something like that? Like what is your approach or the team's approach to not continuing to lose games for that reason?
Just staying the course and having some accountability in game. I think we find ways to adjust the next day, or when we play them the opponent a second or third time. But we got to make sure that the actions are actually happening real time. And to me, it's about putting a full game together. So we start out pretty decently, and then we end terribly. And the inconsistencies is sometimes it's not the start, sometimes it's the end, sometimes it's the start, sometimes it's what I'm saying. So it's about just having a different a mindset of accountability in figuring it out real time.
All right, Christian, you're up.
Hey, coach. No, this is a tough loss, but in certain situations like this, the team, or you have said kind of paralysis by analysis. Is this one of those situations in that fourth quarter?
No. I thought that we were bad defensively. Giving up 27 is not good defense. They were running the same actions. We weren't covering ball screens well. And then again, at the end of the day, you can't leave shooters open. So it was, to me, defensively first and foremost, and then our defense kind of always dictates what we do offensively. We were able to score at a high clip for 3 quarters. In that fourth quarter, I just feel like our execution was awful.
All right, Qasim, you're up.
Hey coach. So Tina had a game today. What do you do to kind of back up Ezzy when, a Hall of Famer like that gets going? And how can you kind of adjust for, making sure she doesn't get going again on Friday?
Dom needs to be ready. We are going to rely on her for her size and her agility. I thought that a couple of her minutes or in some stretches, she was not locked in. And I think we combat Tina with utilizing some other length that we have on the floor with Dom, but she has to play better than she did today. And then the other thing is just, getting into foul trouble negates what Ezzy can do, especially in certain coverages. I don't think that we were able to completely cover Tina the way that we wanted to because of some foul trouble. So foul discipline is going to be very important.
Thanks.
And you're next. Andrew.
Thank you very much. Coach, you got up to the 27-18 lead. You had the lead for all 3 quarters. And then, as you mentioned and talked about in regards to the fourth quarter, do you feel with the 30 minutes for each starter is that your bench isn't giving you that consistent reason to give your starters that rest and to have your starters be sharp on the defensive end in terms of those coverages against Hartley and Sheldon? Do you feel like your bench is not giving you enough to have your starters get that rest and not feel fatigued in the fourth?
Yeah, it starts with our bench, though. I'm sorry, it starts with our starters. We are actually also down a guard, so it's difficult, especially, trying to find some rotations and rest in particular minutes when certain people are cooking. But at the end of the day, yeah, it starts there with our starters, but our bench does have to be ready. In those minutes, we can't turn the ball over. We can't have lapses in assignments, and it's, I'm not, sometimes, the people who are coming into the game become low hanging fruit. I'm not doing that. Our starters have to be sharper throughout the entire game because they are in certain lineups with our bench players, and it's on them to hold the fort and hold the standard, set the standard, and those other guys will follow. But yeah, obviously you can't go 44 games and play, 5 people at a clip like this. So our readiness is going to be important, and it's not just about playing minutes. You got to execute in those minutes. You got to be productive in those minutes. I'm not just going to play just to play, and that's very key.
Say back to Seattle.
Final question, we'll go to Asia.
Hi, Coach. Fourth quarter was a little bit of a struggle. In those timeouts, what were some of the ways that you were trying to motivate your girls to take back the lead and play tougher in that fourth quarter?
Just kind of keeping it possession by possession. We knew that there are some, ways to execute offensively. So just kind of reminding them of that. And then defensively, just kind of talking about, where our physicality needs to lie and, executing there and kind of trying to stay the course, being positive and knowing that, we're capable. But a game like this is difficult again, where things are kind of impacting the other. Our defense impacted our offense impacted our defense. And so in those moments, trying to stay as locked in and present and confident, keeping the group confident, but also just imploring that our execution needed to be better.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, thanks.